This is an idea following a chat with a guy called Guarded Dig 2, and I'll leave a link to his channel underneath this video. And it's been about salt cell circuits and salt cells themselves. So I thought to myself, well, I've been taking apart a few laptop batteries and things for these little 5-volt things from China, these booster circuits. And quite a few of them, unfortunately, because they're about 15 or 20 years old, have been completely flat. I'll just show you. I'll turn on this meter here, and you can see absolutely nothing on the things, completely flat. And now normally, you know, you'd put them in a jar probably outside and leave them for a decade, or properly dispose of them. But what I decided to do was rip one of these exact same ones apart. I used those plier things there, and you end up with this kind of a structure inside, and it's got the copper and the aluminium plates. You've got a couple of separators as well. So the idea is to keep these plates, the aluminium on the left and the copper on the right, but make some kind of supercap kind of battery type thing out of them. I'm going to keep the black stuff on there because I don't want to touch it and so I'm just going to leave it on there. I'm going to put a piece of paper, regular printer paper, in between. The electrolyte is going to be Epsom salts and alum, and just basically see what it does, if anything. I mean, these things, when they get to this condition, they're just no use for anything. So I figured, well, there's quite a lot of the copper foil and quite a lot of the aluminium foil. At least there should be something able to happen. I would also definitely recommend using gloves for this kind of a thing. For a lot of us guys, that's what your wives wear the yellow things on their hands when they're doing the washing up. Anyway, what I'm going to do, put this all together and see what happens with it. Oh yes, and I said plates just there. What I meant was that these cells themselves, these batteries, are rolled very tightly, and they're long lengths of the copper and the aluminium. What I meant was I'm cutting these into plates to make the cell. I misspoke, and that appears to be a popular thing in politics at the moment. So here's the water, the alum and the Epsom salts, and a spoon. I'm going to mix the thing quite weak really, because I want to save the alum for something that's probably going to work. But I had a thought, if you used a much thinner one of these bottles, these pills bottles, you could probably leave the whole thing intact and just take connections off the negative and positive. I don't know. So anyway, I suppose part of it is to see whether this whole thing works. So I'll do this live. Or maybe I'll just tip it. A bit of alum, bit of Epsom salts. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in the microwave for 20 seconds, something like that, to mix it up properly. And we'll put another one in. This bag has lasted about 8 years. Probably a score because anything, but anyway. Right, so I'll just go and mix that up and come back. Wow! Stop! That was interesting. So, for this experiment I wouldn't recommend using a microwave. Instead use a spoon to mix the ingredients up. Wow, that was something. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is use a plastic bag to hold everything in. First thing will be to put this paper in the mixture there, get it all soaked through. Put the first plate in, put this in over the top, and then I'll put the copper over the top of that, and that should stop the thing from drying out. Right, so there we go, it's in the plastic bag, and went in okay. I think I might put something like this alum bottle on the top if it's not contacting quite as strongly as it could do. But I suppose the first thing to note is that normally in a lithium ion, I believe the plates are the wrong way round. That the copper is the negative and the aluminium is the positive. Anyway, well, what I'm going to do now, I'll connect up and see if this thing's got anything on it just with the electrolyte. And I may have something like about 0.4 volts with the simply the difference between the two metals. Oh, there's a good point, that'll do. Okay, let's have a look. There we go. So, nearly half a volt, just sitting there, 0.497. It's a shame it's not a little higher. I'll try and run a blocking oscillator off that as it is. Well, this is interesting. I've let it sit now for about 5 minutes and 0.565, so that should run a blocking oscillator. I'll try that. Right, got one. So, yeah, with no charging, I wonder if this is going to work. A negative. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's quite nice. So there we go, that's the thing working with no charging at all going on. I'd expect that to run until the thing runs out. Until it runs out, of course it will. But I mean until the thing dries out inside. So if that was properly sealed, it gives a use already to the old lithium ion. I know they're a bit dangerous, and that's why this has to be done when they're completely flat and very ancient and there's no chance of reactions. I'd also recommend taking them apart outside because of the lithium smell. But look at that. Run along quite nicely indeed, simply as it sits, no charging at all.